Today we are going to learn how to write an equation of a circle. The standard form of the equation of a circle is given by this form: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. The ordered pair for h and k is what we call the center of the circle. The length of r is the radius of the circle. In other words, for you to be able to easily write the equation of a circle, you need to have two elements. First, the center of the circle. Second, the radius of a circle. So let's have this example here. Center located at 3, -2, and the radius has a length of 11 units. Find the equation of the circle. This is going to be very easy, guys. The only thing you're going to do is to substitute the values. This is going to be our h, and this is going to be our k, and the length of the radius is going to be our r. Substitute these values into the equation of a circle in standard form. So our answer would be like this. X minus our h is 3 squared plus y minus our k is -2. Alright, squared equals our r is 11 squared. So let's just try to simplify. X minus 3 squared plus negative times negative is simply positive, so you would have y plus 2 squared equals 121. This is now the equation of your circle. If you're going to graph this using a software, like say for example GeoGebra, you would be able to see that that's going to be a perfect square. I hope you're able to get it. Let's have another example here. Center, which is located at -4, 8, and the circle is passing through the point -2, -1. This is going to be tricky because, as you notice, we already have a center. However, we don't have a radius yet. I'm going to give you like maybe 2 minutes or 1 minute to see how are we going to solve this. Alright, were you able to realize how to answer this item here? This is going to be very easy. I would suggest to plot the points on a Cartesian plane for you to be able to understand the situation. So let's take a look. -4, 8 is somehow located as in the second quadrant. So let's say 2, -2, -4, 2, 4, 6, 8. So this is where the center is located, which is the ordered pair of -4 and 8. Passing through the points -2, -1. So let's take a look at -2, -1. This is -2. Somehow -1 is located here. So that's -1. This means to say that if the center is located here, the curvature of the circle is passing through this point. So just imagine your circle will be like this. There. Something like that. There. And this is the center. This means to say that whatever distance you would have from that center to this point here will be the radius. So the only thing that you're going to solve, guys, to determine the radius length is to solve for the distance from this point to this point. And the distance formula is given by the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Let's say this is going to be our point 1 and this is going to be our point 2. This follows that x sub 1 is negative 4, y sub 1 is 8, x sub 2 is negative 2, and y sub 2 is negative 1. So let's substitute the values into the distance formula. X sub 2 is negative 2 minus x sub 1 is negative 4 squared plus y sub 2 is negative 1 minus y sub 1 is 8 squared. This gives us square root of negative 2. Negative times negative, that's going to be positive 4 squared plus this becomes negative 9 squared. Alright, so this is going to be 2 squared plus 9 squared. 2 squared is 4 plus 81. What is 4 plus 81? This is going to be 85, right? So your radius, or the distance between these 2 points, negative 4, 8, and negative 2, negative 1, is square root of 85. Okay, so let's now form or write the equation of a circle here. I'm just going to write it at the bottom part of your screen. So here, the center, which is negative 4, 8, we have negative or minus, because that's the standard form of the equation of a circle. We have negative 4 squared plus y, our k is 8 squared, equals our r is square root of 85. So square root of 85 squared, because remember that in the standard form, the radius is being raised to the power of 2. So let's simplify this here. I'm just gonna write, I hope you can still see this. I'm just gonna write here. I'm gonna draw an arrow here. So this becomes x plus 4 squared plus y minus 8 squared equals 85. This is now the equation of a circle that is being defined in this example here. Next example will be endpoints of the diameter. I'm going to clear out all the writings on the board and we'll discuss how to solve it. Give me a minute while I erase everything on the blackboard. Alright, so let's have another example. We are given by this property, diameter, endpoints are negative 5, 2, and 3, 6. How are we going to write the equation of a circle in this case? As I've mentioned earlier, the most important thing or the most needed item for you to be able to write the equation of a circle is you need to have the center of the circle and the radius of a circle. Unfortunately, in this situation here, we don't have the center of a circle. We also don't have the radius of a circle. However, we are given the endpoints of the diameter. This would actually give us a clue. We know that the diameter passes through the center of a circle. It follows that whatever is the ordered pair of that diameter will be the center of the circle, right? And then, how to find the radius? You notice that that's the diameter. The relationship of diameter and radius in the circle is that diameter is twice the radius, or radius is just half of the diameter. So, for us to be able to solve for the radius, we need to solve the distance of the diameter and then divide it by 2. Let's start with our solution. First, we're going to take a look at the midterm or middle point of these 2 points, and that's going to be the center of the circle. The midpoint formula is given by this formula or expression, x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2, y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2. This is in the form of an ordered pair. So this follows that our point 1 is here, our point 2 is here. And then this is going to be our x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Let us substitute the values into the midpoint formula to solve for the midpoint. Negative 5 plus 3 over 2, 2 plus 6 over 2. This is equal to negative 2 over 2, 8 over 2. Then we have negative 1, 4. This follows that this midpoint of the diameter is the center of the circle. Alright, so the lacking element now is just the radius. So let's solve for the radius. How? We're going to solve the distance of these 2 points and then divide it by 2 because, again, radius is half of the diameter. So using the distance formula, we have x sub 2 minus x sub 1 plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Our x sub 2 is 3 minus negative 5, which is our x sub 1 squared, plus y sub 2 is 6 minus y sub 1 is 2 squared. Let me extend the radical symbol. Then we have 3 plus 5 squared plus 6 minus 2 squared. We then have 8 squared plus 6 minus 2 is 4, 4 squared. 8 squared is 64 plus 16. So what is 64 plus 16, guys? That is 80. Square root of 80. And what is square root of 80? 4 square root of 5. How? This is going to be like 16 times 5 because factors of 80 are 16 and 5. Right? And then we know that 16 is a perfect square. We can write it outside of the radical symbol and write the simplified form of it. So we have 4 square root of 5. This is going to be our diameter. Okay? This is the distance of our diameter or the measurement of our diameter. How to solve for the radius? As I've mentioned earlier, radius is just half of the diameter. We are just going to divide it by 2. 4 square root of 5 over 2, that is equal to 2 square root of 5. This is going to be our radius. With that being said, we would now be able to form the equation of a circle. So let's start. X minus our h is negative 1 plus y minus our k is positive 4 squared equals our r is 2 square root of 5. So 2 square root of 5 squared because you see the square here. So let's simplify the terms. We have x plus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals, you take the square of 2 and the square of the square root of 5. So we have 4, and square root of 5 squared is 5. In other words, the right side becomes 20. So you just copy everything on the left side and simplify the right side, which is actually equal to 20. That's it. I hope you're able to solve if you're going to do it on your own. Thank you.